Welcome back, everybody. Final half hour of our show on this Tuesday morning. Football camps, practices going all around the region. Mentioned the Bison are going, UND's going. Yesterday, over at Moorhead, Minnesota State University, Moorhead opened up fall camp practice for 2025. The Dragons are one of the few Division II teams playing in week 0. They'll actually start before anybody. They've got a game coming up in just over 3 weeks' time, so I figure this is the best time as any to continue a tradition unlike any other. Not the Butler Cabin interview at the Masters, our conversations with Dragon head football coach Steve Laqua, who once famously adorned the Scorch mascot hat on our show. Here he is. Happy New Year. How's it going?
It's good. I think there's some debate whether the Scorch head is a better look than my current. So it's we can maybe have to do an informal poll on your profile and see what people would prefer. So I think I've said it before, but I've been told by many that I have a face for radio. So
welcome to the party on that one. I got an email even before you came on. Hot take: MSUM will have the best quarterback in the region. What do you say about that with your what is he, 4th-year starter now back in Jack Strand?
Yeah, he's a really good quarterback. He's done some really good things. I think, there's some good quarterbacks in the region. I mean, if you look across the river, like Cole Payton, they're different. They're different. And so what's better? I don't know, whatever. If you want to throw the ball 70 times a game, maybe we got the better guy. If you want to, do more of a mix and have your quarterback in the run game, obviously not the best guy. So it's just different fits for everybody. We're sure glad we have him, and he's got a bright future in front of him.
To have him back, what kind of comfortability is that, especially now that you're not trying to reinstall things, that you got a guy ready to go on day one?
Yeah, it's very comforting, right? Like your offense runs through that guy, and so if you feel comfortable, he's got a ton of reps, ton of experience. Like, we know kind of where we're going to get, right? There's a floor that's kind of set. We're trying to raise the floor, raise the ceiling. But at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, we can count on these things. It allows us to be able to teach, at a higher level to some parts, but allows us to really, hey, look, we know where we need to be. We can focus on the young guys right now and trying to build our depth. And so that, I think, has been the best thing about the first couple of days in practice. Like, we know what we got in the old guys, but these young guys, we got to get them up to speed. So let's gear the practices towards them and develop. And the old guys, they'll be fine. We'll bring them along as we go.
Is this the earliest you've ever been back for camp?
It feels pretty close. It's about as it's been in the way our school calendar falls. It's the longest fall camp really that we've had, because school doesn't start until 3 weeks into camp. So it's a little bit different feel for us. We've had to kind of figure out how we're going to manage that extra time of football without classes and without that break. And so we've had to be a little bit creative, got some video game tournaments going on and some of the we'll see how that plays out.
Are you part of those? I'm dying to know that.
I am part of the championship game pageantry that goes along with the pregame announcements and kind of halftime critique shows. So that's kind of my role in that deal.
Oh man.
We had a good time with that last year. We kind of ramped it up, took it to another level this year. So Madden tournament last year. This year we're going to NCAA football double elimination tournament. Top 32 teams. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be quite a deal.
When's the last time you played a video game? I'm just curious.
Oh, well, this is a great story. Okay. So 2001 would be the last time. So that's my senior year in college. And a lot of my roommates were engineers, so they had to go study, and I'm playing video games. I have to admit, I played a lot. But the reason was this. They went to go do homework, and I said, hey, I'm doing an internship. I'm going to be a football coach. I need to be playing these football video games. It's with in-game. So it's an unpaid internship. I spend about 4 to 8 hours a day on this. You guys do your deal. I got to do mine. And so it kind of helped me feel better about what I was doing.
And now look at you. You're a Division II head football coach. There you go, right?
Could be a proven strategy that some folks might want to take. So
the challenge of playing week 0. I mean, obviously the ramp up is earlier. What else goes into this knowing, okay, we're playing 3 weeks from Thursday. We got our first game.
Well, the challenge is so we play on a Thursday. It's a 9-hour, whatever, and a half-hour trip to We've got to leave Wednesday. Classes start on Monday. So there's always a challenge when classes take you out of the fall camp routine. And then you've had classes, you're at a different time. You, Traditionally, it's very difficult to have good practices those first couple of days. Well, we need to have good practices because those are the last 2 days of practice we get before we hit a bus and go on the trip. So that part is definitely a concern. I think the other concern is because you do have extra time without classes, you have to make sure you don't burn everybody's legs and do football all day, every day, and you burn them out before you get there. But at the same time, there's not really anybody at campus. So what are we going to do? You're just going to sit around in the dorms and twiddle your thumbs with nobody around. That's not great for a freshman experience either. So we got to try and balance those two things.
When do you start paying attention for the freshmen that just got here? How early on are you looking at guys say this one can help us? I think we can. How many practices in is there is there a defining line for you to say I think that we've seen enough? He can help us.
Well, yesterday there's some guys that flashed, and this morning was our second practice. And just wow, and I thought it was interesting. We had a high school staff was in watching practice yesterday, and they asked about. They're like, "Who's this guy?" We seen him like how old is he? Is he like a junior, senior? He just hasn't been able to break the lineup. I said, well, this was his first college practice, and you're right. He looked like he belonged with the older guys, and he made some plays. And so some of those you're getting noticed. Now, granted, we don't have pads on. Tomorrow we'll get pads on for the first time. And so you take it all with a grain of salt because everybody feels great the first day, right? And then the second day, and then you get a little bit more tired. And then you kind of settle into, okay, here's kind of what it's like. So we'll just pump the brakes and we'll let the muddy water. But there's definitely guys that flash as soon as day one.
I know you how much you love preseason polls. It just came out. The Dragons, I think, for the 85th year in a row, have picked 7th, right in the middle. Do you use that? Do you want your guys paying attention to that or no?
Now, in the end, I'm like, I think for about the 85th year in the row, the Dragons have been picked exactly where they finished
last year.
So I'm like, it's whatever. Like I could have given season poll as soon as last season's standings were complete. So we try not to spend a lot of time on that. If we're going to pay attention to anything in the media, we're just listening to Hot Mike.
Oh, there we go. There's a promo right there. Make it happen. There it is.
Yeah. So whatever you say, that's in their ears. They've got to we got to filter through that.
I appreciate that. Just knowing though exactly what you're getting yourself into. You know the NSIC. You know the challenges, especially for a younger guy, maybe a redshirt freshman or a sophomore who hasn't played yet. What is that quote unquote initiation like? Hey, we have one non-conference game, but after that, it's 10 of these that we got to look forward to.
Yeah, in the end, you're trying to create as many competitive situations as we can leading up to that. Where we got a chance of whatever. Say you're going to be a young wide receiver that's going to get on the field. Well, we've got to give you as many opportunities against our best defenders as possible. So when you get to the game, you're like, okay, this is what it's going to look like. And in fact, we've taken that a step further of, okay, so let's make it even harder. Let's tell you're playing one-on-one against this defensive back. He's a starter. You're a freshman, but we're going to tell the defensive back he's only going to make an outbreaking route. Now it might be at 5 yards, 10 yards, or 15, whatever. But like, okay, so he already has the answers to the test beforehand. And so can we create those mismatches that they have to perform under? So when you get to the game, you're like, okay, I've been in difficult situations before.
Having a Carter Barincott back, how big a deal is that, Steve, for a guy that's just a separator, just that he can make plays down the field for you?
Well, it's huge. When he came on, 2 years ago, and he hit his stride and he made some plays, and he had that one touchdown catch against Northern where he caught it and he just ran away from everybody. And I think everybody's eyes just went big and went, oh, what can happen to this offense now? And then, got injured a little while later or whatever. And then last year on the last scrimmage before the first game, he makes a great diving catch in the end zone and breaks his collarbone and misses the season. We got a guy that can be a difference maker that now we can add on. And now when his time was gone, other people stepped up and elevated. Yep. So it's just, and we didn't graduate. So we had a depth. Like it's a huge advantage to have a guy like that back. It's like, it's kind of like in the NFL, you signed a good free agent that came in. Like, normally you don't get that. You graduate and lose, and the next guy be like, hey, this guy was gone and came in. And so, we're excited about that.
Defensively, I know you graduated a couple guys on that side. Who do we look forward to? Who are you looking to say, we need you now to step up in 2025?
Well, we definitely need the defensive line to step up. We graduated a lot of those guys. And so Jacob Brocious out of Fargo North is a senior that, has been in the mix and playing, but has maybe never been the voice of that room. And so we need him to be able to step up and play great football. But, one of the cool things about our linebacker crew, Mitch Jezierski, is, he's been behind Josiah Bain playing, alongside him and with him. And Josiah's been one of the, maybe top 3 leaders that we've had in the last decade. Well, Mitch has got to be in the top 5. And so he's been a great follower, kind of in the shadows, so to say. And now he's got a chance to step up in the forefront. And Mitch has done a great job leading from like the second in command, the assistant head coach, so to say. And now he's in that head coach role, and he's been doing an awesome job. And so he's gonna help our team, but then he's gonna get a chance to be on the field and now make the plays that kind of go along with that.
Cody Sorensen, what does he have for an encore for 2025 for you?
Well, it seems like it's about his 4th encore. He's been around for about 6 We're excited that he's back, continuing to do it. He adds maturity. He adds wisdom. He is a great perspective where, if everybody's kind of might have it, he's like, hey, let's pump the brakes. Let's look at it from this angle. Hey, that makes sense. And so he's making sure that we've dotted all our I's, crossed the T's. We're together and we're thinking of it from all angles. And I really appreciate that perspective. And I think the rest of the guys do too. And so you need that kind of balance in your leadership room.
I'm going to say some journalism failure on my part. I don't live far from Nemzik, and driving the other day, I'm not like, what is that? There's a brand new scoreboard on the field. We had video of it yesterday, $200,000 scoreboard. How did this all come about?
Yeah, it was an awesome deal. We had some people that wanted to make a difference in the program, and and that was kind of their look. Here's what we want, and we'd like it to look like this, and we can kind of make this happen. And we need to pull some people together. And I think great job by by our foundation, our athletic director Chad Markison, and like pulling people together and finding a way to finish it and make it happen. And so it's awesome, and it's great. We're able to get what we want out of it. I think it can definitely add and enhance. Anytime you can make some upgrades to the facility, it definitely helps. So we're excited about that.
Is that something you worry about looking at a replay right after a play? I know you go fast offensively, but you're going to do that? You can gander up there?
I got to try not to get upset with the officials if it's the wrong call, but and if it is, then it's my own fault. I should have thrown the red flag. So in essence, that might help that I could get a different angle to look at it, and hopefully where you got to throw the challenge flag. So I don't know that the officials like those things.
I'm sure they don't.
Yeah, it's hey, but it is what it is. And so we'll see. I think our Go team here on campus does a phenomenal job. Those students, and they run the cameras. They do some of those halftime interviews. They got great in the field kind of, experience of what they're doing. They put a good product out there and prepares them. And a lot of them, end up going to WDY and doing things. And it's, I think it's a great win-win. And so people that are tuning in and watching, like, you see a good product, and you probably see some of those sideline reporters that, are doing some of the stuff that you guys are doing there with them. And so I think it's a great setup.
Last, before we go, we had Brian Mistro on last week. There are fans clamoring for a weekly appearance. I don't know. Can we have 2 Division II head coaches in the same league weekly on the show? So I'm asking, are you to come back this year?
Oh yeah, I'm coming back. I'm not on a 1-year free agency. I thought we had I don't know if it was a lifetime contract you offered, but it was a 2 or 3 year deal. We can look at. I might have not wanted the lifetime, trying to make sure that we could move the price down. So still have back.
Oh man,
paying you to let me come on the show. So
I appreciate that always, and we can't wait to get it rolling here later this month. Thanks so much for the time, bud. Be well. Have a great fall camp. We'll talk to you when the season gets going. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
There he goes, Steve Laqua, MSU head football coach, joining us as the Dragons got fall camp going yesterday. Jack Strand's a dude to watch. Their schedule is what it is. I mean, they're opening with Northern Michigan, which is going to be a fun road game. You mentioned that. It's a Thursday night. It's 3 weeks from Thursday that they get going. That might be one of the very first college football games in the country going on. Obviously, we have week 0 on the Division I side a few days before it, but there's not many. The Dragons are in the top 10 of the first games of the season. That'll be happening coming up on August the 28th. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll wrap things up. Get you ready. We got a busy Sports Tuesday on tap for us here. Hot Mike will wrap on WDAY Extra right after this.